Sky Squad, we are back with another video, baby. We got a lot to talk about today, real quick. Okay, we talking Jussie Smollett, we talking Cynthia Bailey, we talking Martell Holt. Okay, so let's get into this because it's about to get a little bit steamy. Okay, all right, y'all. So let's get into this Jussie Smollett story. Okay, and we're gonna take things over to our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk for this story, where the headline reads Jussie Smollett sentenced to 150 days in the slammer. Judge describes him as profoundly arrogant, selfish, and narcissistic. Okay. According to the Chicago Tribune, this case was undoubtedly the most high profile class 4 felony to ever be tried in Chicago. And that's saying quite a bit. Okay. Now, there are a lot of things that are kind of, worrisome to me about this whole situation. He was sentenced to Cook County Jail immediately. Okay. Immediately. He had to go. Okay. So it's 150 days in jail and 30 months of felony probation. All right. Now, Jussie is still maintaining his innocence. And as you guys can see here, on his way out of the courtroom, he is got his hand held high in the air and pumping that fist. But what I think is even more concerning is the visual that I'm going to show you guys here. And it is really of him stating to the court something very interesting that I found really, really interesting. Not only does he have to spend the next 150 days in jail, okay, he has to pay a restitution of 120,000 and a $25,000 fine. But again, the most concerning thing was that he stated that he is not in a state where he would take his life. I'm not saying the word for the sake of YouTube, but he is insisting right here that he is not in a state of mind where he wants to take his own life. He is really, really reiterating that over and over again, very, very firmly. Okay. He says, I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time. I am not, and I'm paraphrasing, not in a mental state where I want to take my life. If anything happens to me in there, I did not do it myself. Heavy. Heavy. Heavy on it right now, right? So this got me to thinking, like, does he suspect that going into the Cook County Jail that something is going to happen to him? And, I have to wonder, is the sentencing harsher than normal? These are things that I want you guys to comment on in the chatterization down below. Is the sentence a little much? Let us know in the chat. But again, I just found it very interesting that he is very, very adamant about this, because it seems as though there is some real concern there that something may happen to him. And the implication is that something may happen to him and they may try to make it look as though he took his own life. And I got to tell you, I think it was a smart thing to say. Just I that's all I can say about it. I mean, I think it was a smart thing for him to say in case anything does happen to him in there, which I think is a viable concern at this point. it's a viable concern. You know, um, his attorney did try to get the judge to stay the decision, but Jussie was surrounded by the sheriff's deputies and then led from the courtroom where he pumped his fist in the air. You know, it was a 5-hour hearing. And the judge said, you wanted to make yourself more famous. And for a while, it worked. The lights were on you. You were actually throwing a national pity party for yourself. The judge accused him of lying for hours and hours to the jury. There's a lot there. You know, the restitution is to go to the city to cover the more than 1,000 hours in police overtime it took to investigate his false hate crime report. There's a lot. There's a lot here. So, guys, let me know what your thoughts are about this whole situation down in the chat below. And because I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say. But now we gotta switch topics real quick. Now we gotta talk about another situation that kind of jumped off today, and folks are screaming over something going on with Cynthia Bailey and Mike Hill. Okay. Now, to better give you guys the preview of what's being said, okay, we're going to take things over to our friends at the Good Jasmine brand, okay? Now, Cynthia is describing something that, Mike Hill, she knows Mike Hill likes, but she don't really feel like doing, okay? And she asked the man, she said, what, can I be honest? Now, this is on the national TV or the syndicated TV, wherever his show is playing at. I understand the news markets and stuff like that. So kudos to him for, operating in the space. And it really suits him. But anyway, um, he asked her, well, what is one thing that that I like that you really don't like doing for me? Okay. Now immediately my mind went to I mean, this is a family show, but we got to call it like what I thought she was gonna say, which was licking on the lollipops. Okay. That's what I thought she was gonna say. But you know what she said? Cynthia said reverse cowgirl. I was like, now reverse cowgirl. I said to myself, self, don't imagine this. Don't imagine this. Don't do it to yourself, okay? But she said she don't like that reverse cowgirl. Now let me ask all my grown folks in the chatterization, do you like the reverse cowgirl? Do you feel the same way Cynthia do? Okay? Are you constantly in a situation where you feel like you got to do this position and you just don't be feeling like doing it? Okay, let us know in the chat down below, and shout out to our friends over at the neighborhood. I mean, not the neighborhood talk for the previous story and the Jasmine brand for this story as well. Let us know. What is it that your partner like for you to do that you just don't feel like doing? Chime down in that good chatterization down below. Okay. Now, who is pretty good at keeping um her man happy, when they was together. Okay. And that is Martell's former mistress, okay, Arionne Curry, because our friends over at the Urban Bell Mag happened to pick up this story, and she didn't really too much care for the all those references to her with regards to the Love and Marriage Huntsville Social Mania specials. I'm assuming that's what she's responding to, according to the Urban Bell Mag. And I understand. I definitely do. She is talked about, but unfortunately, because she was involved with him during the time period where he was filming this show, she's going to be mentioned. And because of the fact that this is one of the reasons for the dissolution of the marriage that Martell had with Melody Holt, she's going to be mentioned. And because he is telling his story and she is telling her story, she, and by her, I mean Melody, then by the very fact that you were in the story, you're going to be a part of the story as they continue to go down this path. And as long as you make any references to the show on social media, which you have every right to do because we know who they're talking about, then again, you will be part of the story. Okay. And even more stories because when you comment on it, we're going to know. So, anyway, she says, I try to check myself before responding to certain things and ask, is my response a reflection of who I am becoming or who I used to be? Now, I do think that in this statement, there is, hints of growth there because, I mean, I'm sure it takes a minute for a person to get to this stage of saying, you know what, I'm not going to respond to everything. And what I will say, guys, is, and I'm going to come back on camera real quick for this statement, is just because somebody throws you a ball does not mean that you have to catch it. Okay? Remember that. Commit that to memory for the rest of your life. Just because someone throws you a ball does not mean that you have to catch it. Okay? So anyway, she says, this is it for me. Like, I'm trying to move forward, but then every season, Ariane must be mentioned to get the attention. It's like y'all star lead. It's like let y'all star lead and be great. Y'all can say what you want. My likeness is, what does she say here? My likeness is very much the main topic. And again, I guess the thing about it is, it is because you have a part to play in this, and it is part of their story. So it's only natural that you're brought into it. Now they don't mention her name, but we know who she is. And from my perspective, if I were her, if you really want to distance yourself from it, you've just got to let it go. Because ultimately, even responding back to things that were said about Marceau and Maurice being in Atlanta, and then her making comments about seeing them with some alleged big back women or something like that, I feel like even that added fuel to the fire. You know what I mean? But again, she has every right to speak because, you know, it's her platform. Okay. But speaking of Martell, are y'all ready for the new season of Love and Marriage Huntsville? I know that I am, and we're gonna get this director's cut from the reunion. I cannot wait to see that. But Martell he busy steaming it up as well. I told y'all this conversation was gonna be a little steamy, okay? And to further steam things up, Carlos King posted this. He said, no, this isn't me. It's Martell's calendar promoting the new season of Love and Marriage Huntsville that debuts next Saturday, March 19th at 8/7 Central on OWN. Let Martell know in the comments if you want him to do a full-fledged calendar for 2023. Okay. So the people was like, yes. But I don't even, listen, get it how you live it. I definitely feel like the man works out. He does put in the work in the gym. So I feel like, you know what? If you got it, flaunt it. Like what Beyonce say, if you got it, flaunt it. Did she say that? I don't know if she said it. You know, she say some stuff. Okay. I thought that's what she said and check up on it, but maybe I got that wrong. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is, you know what? If my body was like this, I might be naked all the time too. I mean, just abs out, okay? But right now we got some work to do, so I'm not gonna be like that. Are people still purchasing the calendars? He might want to do the OnlyFans because I think he might make a lot of money on the OnlyFans. What y'all think? Let me know in the comment section down below. That's it for right now. If I come out with, if I find out anything else, we're gonna let you know. Anything else I can give you some of my commentary on, I'm gonna let you know. But otherwise, give me your thoughts in the chatterization, and I'm gonna hit y'all in the